comprehensive nutrition assessment is the quantitative evaluation of a person's nutritional status that incorporates medical history, anthropometric measurements and growth assessment, physical examination, dietary intake, body composition, and biochemical indices. A medical history identifies risk factors that may lead to under or overnutrition. Undernutrition may result from inadequate intake, such as abnormalities of sucking, swallowing, incorrect food preparation, and anorexia, increased losses due to vomiting and diarrhea, increased metabolic demands due to infection, inflammation, cardiac conditions, and burns, alteration in the metabolism of nutrients as a result of drugs or endocrine conditions, socioeconomic and psychological factors, for example, lack of food resources, socioeconomic and psychological factors, for example, lack of financial resources to purchase food, inadequate facilities to store or prepare food, certain customs relating to food intake, and child abuse or neglect, and prescribed medications that may lead to drug-nutrient interactions, increased macro or micronutrient requirements, and gastrointestinal-related side effects. Overnutrition may result from excessive intake, inadequate exercise or physical activity, alteration in the metabolism of nutrients as a result of medications or endocrine conditions, socioeconomic factors, for example, preferentially purchasing fast food, and a lack of education regarding appropriate food choices, and psychological factors such as mood disturbances. Growth is the best indicator of nutritional status. It involves measurement of weight, height, and head circumference, as well as calculation of a person's body mass index. Serial measurements should be plotted on appropriate growth charts to establish a person's appropriate growth trajectory and identify if there are any concerning trends. Serial assessment of a person's Tanner stage also assists with monitoring their progress through puberty and expected growth. When interpreting growth, ensure that the appropriate reference growth charts are used. There are growth charts for specific age ranges and sex, as well as for specific conditions that are known to affect growth, such as prematurity, Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, and Noonan syndrome. Abnormalities in weight for age measurements generally relate to acute nutritional abnormalities and reflect a person's short-term nutritional status, whereas abnormalities in length or height for age relate to chronic nutritional abnormalities and reflect a person's long-term nutritional status. The physical examination seeks to identify signs and symptoms suggestive of nutritional abnormalities. It includes assessment of muscle mass and subcutaneous fat stores, examination of skin, hair, nails, oral cavity, teeth and bones, and assessment of hydration status. There are multiple methods for assessing dietary intake, each with their own advantages and disadvantages. Such methods include the dietary record, which typically involves a record of dietary intake over a 3 to 7 day period. This is the gold standard method, but it is time-consuming and requires a motivated patient and skilled dietitian. The 24-hour recall can be fast and convenient, being conducted either in person or over the phone. It relies on the person's memory and does not necessarily reflect a person's usual intake. The Food Frequency Questionnaire is an easy and useful screening tool that assesses current and past diet. However, it does not necessarily provide a valid estimate of a person's intake. The diet history is appropriate for most people and can usually be completed in a single interview. It relies on a person's memory and requires a skilled interviewer. And intake observation. This is usually conducted over a 24-hour period and is an accurate recording. However, it is only appropriate in the hospitalised patient and requires cooperation from the patient and staff. Assessing body composition is designed to estimate a person's body fat, fat-free mass, lean body mass, and bone mass. A person's adiposity can be determined by their weight-height measurement in children under 2 years, or body mass index for children over 2 years. Fat distribution can be determined by waist circumference, waist to hip ratio, and waist to height ratio. Other body composition measurements include skin fold thickness and mid-upper arm circumference. More sophisticated measurements of body composition include dual energy X-ray absorptiometry or DEXA scan, which measures bone density, whole body DEXA scan, which measures fat mass, lean soft tissue mass, and bone mineral density, biochemical impedance analysis, which assesses impedance to electrical flow that is directly proportional to lean tissues and is used to assess total body water and fat-free mass, hand dynamometry or hand grip strength, which measures maximal isometric strength of the hand and forearm muscles and evaluates total body protein, total body potassium counting, which measures total body potassium to determine lean body mass and body fat, and hydrodensitometry or underwater weighing, which is used to measure body density and body fat. And finally, certain blood and urine tests can be done to help determine nutritional status. Serum protein markers include albumin, prealbumin, transferrin, retinol binding protein, and C-reactive protein. Measuring a person's nitrogen balance by determining their urinary nitrogen losses through urinary urea and nitrogen, in conjunction with non-urinary losses, can assist in assessing protein metabolism and be used as an indirect assessment of nutritional status. Urinary creatinine excretion and creatinine height index involves a 24-hour measurement of urinary creatinine excretion and can estimate lean body mass.